Hey, hello everyone. A very good evening. I hope you all are doing good. And yeah, it has been a long time. We did not connected. We did not cover any sessions, but yeah, now we are here and we would be able to cover the rest of our flow series, and we are going to continuously work on the series, the rest of series that we have. So please confirm if you can hear me and if you can see me clearly. You can see the screen and. If you have any questions on the previous sessions, anything that you have, please confirm and then we can get started. Yeah, hello, hey, hi. Could you please confirm if you can hear me? You can see me clearly? Yes or no or anything? Okay, thanks, Anthony, for confirmation. So today what we are going to do is we are going to learn about how we can activate the session-based permission sets using Salesforce flows. We are also going to talk about what exactly the session-based permission sets are. Then we are going to see how we can send the email using Salesforce flows and what are the different options while sending the email. And then we are going to talk about how we can submit the approval process using Salesforce flow. And we are also going to talk about the rest of the actions that we have here, like creating the leads or case or contact task. There are multiple core actions that we should be actually aware of while we are working with Salesforce flows. So that is what we are going to cover today here. So we are going to get started with the session based permission sets. Then we are going to get started with the approval process, and then we'll talk about sending the emails using flows. And then later on, at the second half of our video, we are going to talk about how we can create the other standard or custom object using the core actions. These are the core actions. We are not going to do anything. We are not going to use create records or that kind of things. These all are the core actions that we should be able to utilize for creating the different kind of records. So let's talk about what are the session based permission sets. Okay, if we talk about session based permission sets, so session based permission sets are basically special kind of permission sets, which we can also say that these are the dynamic or runtime permission sets in Salesforce that allows you to basically go ahead and activate the permissions during the certain session for the specific interaction to the user. Now, let me give you a very basic example so that you can understand what exactly the session based permission sets are. So, for example, uh, you are working on accounts or opportunities, and you are going on a leave or on a vacation for a couple of weeks or couple of days, and then you want that a certain set of opportunities or accounts and some other records your colleagues should be able to access to, and that should be for a certain period of time. There are a couple of scenarios, there are a couple of solutions to this use case. For example, you can use opportunity teams or account teams to add that user into those records, and a user would be able to access it. Second is you could just go ahead and share the records based on the sharing. And third is you can always use the session based permission sets. So we are going to talk about session based permission sets. Before we go ahead, again, these are the multiple use cases for our session based permission sets, like data review and approval. Sometimes some user temporarily need access to the records that they wanted to review, and before they actually submit it for the maybe for accounting team or for marketing team, that kind of data review and approval process can be done with the help of session based permission sets. Then again, we have got for customer support, where customer support needs temporary access to certain records or certain customer so that they can effectively communicate with their customer and try to resolve the issues. Then there could be some time sensitive task. Sometime what happens, we receive some tickets, we receive some tasks which are very time sensitive, and we really need to complete those within a certain period of time. Okay, it could be like data integration or some system configuration like creating the users. Okay, in that case also, if certain person is not available who is responsible for all these, we can always utilize session based permission sets. And for, again, that is last not least, you can always utilize it for accessing the external integrations with the help of permission sets. Okay, now what we have to do here is, what are the various steps that we have to do in order to go ahead and utilize session based permission set. Before we go ahead, there is a question, where is the episode number 8? So that is a completely independent session, that is completely independent document, not a document, I'll say the independent topic, outbound message. We are going to cover it maybe mid next week. We will cover it, so don't worry about that. We had to reschedule it due to some technical issues, but we would be covering it, so don't worry about that. Okay, coming back to the session, we were talking about what are the steps for implementing a session based permission sets. So the very first thing is that, because we wanted to implement a session based permission set, we need a permission set which is enabled session based. Okay, so how we are going to enable it? First, let's go ahead and create a permission set. Okay, I'm going to create a permission set. Okay, I'm going to create a permission set which is going to give the account and contact access to the user. Okay, all account and contact access. There is no such filtration we are going to apply here as of now. We are going to give the user to all account and contact access. So let's quickly create a new permission set, and I'm going to give it a flow. Okay, or maybe I'll say all account contact access. Okay, this is the name of my permission set, and the API name, I'm just removing the underscore so that I have everything without any underscores. And if you see here, there is a checkbox called session activation required. This is really important. If we are trying to utilize our permission set for session activation, we wanted to give, like, we wanted to make this permission set effective only and only if there is a session, there is a valid session, and user go to that particular screen and activate this session, activate this permission set, then only the permission set is going to be activated. So make sure you check this checkbox. If you don't check this checkbox, your next steps are not going to work properly. Go ahead and save this. Okay, we have just saved this permission set, which is says the permission set is session activation required. Before that, or maybe as a next step, check the sharing settings, check the OWD for your object, account and contact. The reason I'm saying that check this, because we wanted to make sure that the OWD for account and contact is set to private, so that no user can access any additional accounts except the accounts or contacts that they do own. Okay, so I have set the account and contact permission as private, as a OWD, so that only the record owner will be able to access the record. This is very important because I wanted to showcase that there would be no account and contact. This is account and this is contact, which is controlled by parent. If you want, you can go ahead and change it to private. Control by parent will also work. Parent is account, but we can also change it to private. This is the second step, making sure that the OWD for our account, contact, and the additional object that you wanted to test for is set to private. Next is that we need to have a user with a profile. It could be minimum access Salesforce, that is going to give you the minimum access. So I have got a user called Ricky East. Okay, this is a user with no role. Make sure you are not assigning any role to this user. Okay, and then my profile is minimum access Salesforce. Okay, and then this user have few permissions like course object permissions, lightning enabled, and sales app access. Sorry. So this permission set actually gives the access to an object called course. Lightning enabled actually makes sure that the user is able to access the lightning environment, and sales app access permission set actually gives the access to the account, contact, and opportunity. And this permission set only gives the access to create their own record, cannot access any additional records. Okay, this is the third step, that we need to have a user. And next we have to test it using login as this user. But how you will test it? You can go ahead and search for login access policies, because this is your developer org. You are the admin here, so you can enable this by going to login access policies. Enable this setting, administrator can log in as any user. So you need to enable this setting. Okay, I have already enabled. So just check this checkbox and save the setting. Once you have saved this setting, let's go ahead and log in as that user. Our user is East Ricky. Okay, and even before we log in, as we have created the permission set, we have created a permission set. We also need to provide the permissions to the user. What additional things that user can do? So let's go to objects, and here we have got accounts, and then we have got contacts. These are the two objects for which we wanted to give the additional permission to the user. So I wanted to give the view all access to the user, okay, to all the accounts. And I wanted to make sure that the user is able to access all the fields. For contact, go ahead and save this. Similarly, we are going to repeat the same step for account as well. So let's repeat this. Okay. And now what we will do is, we are going to manage the assignment and assign it to the user. But before we assign it to the user, let me tell you one thing. If you are aware, that's good. If not, then it will be a new learning for you, that if we give the view all access for any object to any permission set or any profile label, what this permission will say is, no matter what is the OWD, that specific user is going to access all the records for that object. So in our case, this is accounts, and we have enabled view all permission. So it will give you the access to all the account records that are available in your Salesforce org. So this is really important. That's why we have enabled this checkbox for that specific user, for that specific permission set. Let's go ahead and click on manage assignments. Okay, and once you click on manage assignments, you will see the screen something like this. Click on add assignments, and here you will see the list of all the users that you have, and our user is Ricky East. I'm going to assign this permission set to this user. Click on next, and then click on assign. You will see a success message. Go ahead and click on done. Now you have assigned this permission set to your user. This is good. We have assigned the permission set to the user, and you might be thinking that if we have already assigned this permission set to the user, this user will be able to access all the contact and account record in Salesforce org. You might be thinking, but let's test it and see if the user is really able to access. Okay. So once you enable that setting, remember login access policy. Once you enable that setting, you will see this login as button would get enabled. So let's click on login as, and this is going to log you in as that specific user. And on the top of your Salesforce org, you will see login as the name of your user, the username, and then you will see a hyperlink called logout as the name of your user. Okay. And if you go to accounts and from the list view drop down, if I select all accounts, I have no accounts. Even if I have this permission set assigned to me, but I still not able to see this any account. I can definitely go ahead and create because I have the create permission. And if I go ahead and utilize the same for and try to create an account, I would be able to create the account. That is good. I would be able to create the account. The owner is Ricky East. And if you now go to the accounts under recently viewed, you will see Google. Even if you go to all orgs, or sorry, all accounts, you will see Google. Okay. So this is this is the record which Ricky East owns, right? The other records are not visible to this user. So now you definitely might be having a question. We have a permission set assigned, but still why we are not able to see? So the reason is that the permission set that we have assigned is session based permission set that is not activated yet. We have to activate it in order to get that permission set effectively, get that permission set to work. Okay, it is same like we have a toy with a button and a battery, right? So if you have a toy, it's not going to work until unless you are going to turn the switch on. So that is what here we have to do. Now let's go ahead and log this out. We have logged out the user and we are good. We tested this that the permission set assignment is not giving the access. So as we talked about, we are going to activate it through flow. So let's go ahead and search for flows. We are going to create a flow now. And this time this flow is going to be a type of screen flow. It could be a type of auto launch. It could be a type of record triggered flow. You can make it anything. Okay. But we are going to use screen flow for our demo purpose. Go ahead, click on new flow. For screen, we have to select screen flows. Okay, click on create. Then we have got this flow. Let's go ahead and click on plus icon, and we are going to add a screen element. Okay, this is just a intermediate screen. I'm just trying to add it here. I will say okay, click next to activate the permission set. Just the simple message over here. Okay, so we can say welcome screen. As usual, I'm going to hide the header. I really don't need header. And in the canvas, we need to display a message. That message is going to say click next to activate the permission set. Okay. So let's say we are saying welcome message. And here we will say click next to activate the permission set to access all account and contact. And let's do some formatting based on what you want and how you want. Okay, so this is the simple screen that we have. Now let's show this save this, and the name of the flow is going to be screen. Okay, and we will say activate session based permission set, and then click on save. So this is just the simple screen that we have. Now we need to activate the permission set. So to activate the permission set, you need to click on plus and then go to actions. Okay, and under the actions, what you have to do is, this is something which is really interesting part. Under this actions, you are going to see so many actions. There should be some custom actions, some standard actions, some special features that are enabled for your org when you will be working for a customer. Okay, for example, in my case, commerce is one feature that is enabled for me. Order management is one that is enabled for me. Okay, and then there are some other features that we have. Okay, so what we have to search here is, to make sure under category we are selecting all. Okay, and then we are saying here activate, and as soon as, even if you don't do anything, the first thing is going to see is activate session based permission set. But if you don't see, because there could be some custom actions for you and that are coming on top of activate session based, so just say activate, and you will see two options, activate and deactivate. Okay, so we will select activate session based permission set, and the label I'm going to utilize same. Now this is something that is very good. It takes one parameter which is required, and that is, it says it specifies the developer name of the permission set. If you hover over this eyeball, okay, that eyeball icon, not eyeball, this eye icon. Okay, now this says the developer name. Okay, so if you go to your permission set, this is the name of your permission set. This is not a developer name. Okay, this is something which you really have to be careful. This is the name of your permission set, not the developer name. So what you have to do is go to your permission set overview. Okay, and this API name, this is your developer name. That is why I have removed underscores. So this is your developer name. So just go ahead, copy this and paste it for the permission set name. Now there is another optional feature that you see here, permission set namespace. Okay, so if you have a managed package installed, okay, and that managed package have some session based permission set that you want to activate, then you have to provide the namespace. In our case, there is nothing to deal with namespace, so don't touch it. Just go ahead and click on done and save it. Now, as we are calling the action, as usual, it is definitely going to fail if there is any issues. So we are going to add a fault path. Okay. And then if there is no issue, the permission set is assigned to the user. We'll click on plus, and then we will again use a screen that we will say success screen. Okay. Hide the header. Now what we wanted to put here, we wanted to say, okay, we are going to use a display text. Okay, and the API name I am going to put as success message. You can use anything. Now what we will put here is, we will say the permission set is assigned, click finish to complete the process. That's it. So we will say permission set is assigned, click finish to complete the process. So this is all that we have to do in the finish screen. Again, do the formatting the way that you want. Okay, and click on done. Again, save your progress. Now fault screen is there. We definitely wanted to display the error message. So let's click on plus sign, select screen, and we are going to say error screen. Now here you could utilize your screen subflow that we have used for error handling. If you remember, we have a subflow that is used for error handling, right? So you can utilize that. I am really not going to call that flow here today. I'm going to use a display text that is just going to display the fault message, whatever the error that we are coming or that we're getting from this action. As usual, we know that we are going to insert a resource of global type that says flow dot fault message. And I'm going to just make sure it is of red color, and that's it. Click on done. Now, as this is a screen flow, okay, this is a screen flow, we definitely wanted to debug it. most of the flow we wanted to debug it. So let's go ahead and debug this. So we are going to click on run, and we have to click on again next, and we are getting the error. What is the error? It says the permission set must be pre-assigned to the user before being activated. So this is something that you need to keep in mind. Any session based permission set must be assigned to the user before that session gets activated for that user. Because we have created this permission set, we have not assigned it to my user, the user I'm logged in as an admin, we are getting this error. We have assigned this permission set to the user, that is Ricky East. If we try to run this flow as that user, we will not get error. Okay, let's go ahead again, debug the flow. And this time, if you remember, we have enabled the setting for running a flow as any user. So we are going to check this checkbox. Here we are going to select our user called Ricky East and then run it. Now what we are seeing here is you don't have the label of necessary, sorry, you don't have the level of access necessary to perform the operation. In case of debug, we cannot really perform it, perform this operation. The reason is it requires the active session for that user for whom we are activating the session. So if the session is for me, if the permission set is for me, it has to be an active session for me. In our case, this permission set is for Ricky East. We don't have an active session for Ricky East. That is why we got this error. So you really don't need to bother much about it. Just go ahead and activate this flow. Okay. Because you have already done everything that you need from your side. Next thing that we have to do is we have to create an app builder page. Because now what we are going to do is we are going to add this flow as a tab in our sales application. Okay. So let's go ahead, go to the app builder from the quick search box, and here we have to click on new. Okay. Once we click on new, it will ask the different types of options. Either it is app page or home page or record page. So in our case, it is an app page. And if you select the app page and click on next, there would be a label that you have to do is, and then you can say activate account and contact access. Okay. And click on next. Now here it will ask the layout, the different types of layout that you wanted to put. So I will, you could see here, right? Even the preview you can see here. If you select this header and right sidebar, you see the preview changes. What I need is, I need one reason, only one reason where I can put my flow. Click on done. Once you click on done, you have to add the component. Now what we need to add is we need to drag and drop flow because we have created a flow. Now what is the name of our flow? The name of our flow is screen activate session based permission sets. So we are going to select that and then click on save. Once you click on save, because this is the first time you have created and trying to save your app page, it will ask you to activate it. So just go ahead and activate it. Okay. And then once you try to activate it, it will give you the different options where you wanted to add this. Okay. For which user, for what all users can access this page. Okay. So the name is this. If you want, you can change the name. If you want, you can change the icon. Then under page activation, you see two options: activate for all users, activate for system admin only. So we are going to select the first one, which was by default selected, activate for all users. And then where we wanted to add it. we wanted to add it to the lightning experience into the sales app. Select the sales app and click on add page to top. So after home, you will see that activate account and contact access. That is a tab which has been added. Go ahead and click on save. Okay, you've just saved this. Let's get back. And if you go to your sales application and refresh this page, and if you click on this more, you will see there is something called activate account and contact access. And if I go to this, we will see our flow here. And if you follow the same process, we will see the error. Okay, that's what we are getting as our user. Now let's try to log in as Ricky East and see what he sees. Okay, what he is able to see in the screen. Okay, so let's go to, sorry, let's log in as Ricky East. Go to login. So sorry, I'm sorry, I'm not able to pronunciate your name, but it could be the issue from your side. Your internet might not be good, because from my side it's clear, and internet connection is very good. Okay, and yeah, I'm going to take the questions here before the demo, or let's cover the demo and then we'll talk about the questions. Okay, you can see here, this is the new tab that we have got. Now before we click on this tab, let's go to accounts and go to all accounts. Okay, we are still able to see only and only one account that is owned by Ricky East. Okay, now let's quickly go to this tab that is saying activate account and contact access. If we go here, we don't see anything here. Okay, the reason we don't see, because that user don't have access to run the flows. So this is again very important. If you want any user to run the flow, screen flow, there is a permission that you have to enable. Okay, so let's log out as Ricky East. We are going to open the permission set that we have created, which is again activating the session. Okay, so let's go to this permission set. Okay, we have not assigned this permission set. Okay, okay, here it is. Sorry, these are the permission sets, and these are the permission sets that requires activation. That is the different related list that we have. Let's go to this permission set. Okay, and once you go to permission set, you will see a search box here. You can say run, you can search for run flow. So there is a permission called run flows. Okay, we have to enable this permission set to the user. So let's go ahead and enable it. So we have to select this run flows, and if you see, that says in this org run any active flow. In the experience builder side, run any activated flow. So basically we need to make sure that we are enabling this permission set which says run flows. If we don't enable this permission set to the user who is not admin, that user will not be able to run the flow. And even I have enabled this permission set in the session, in the session based permission set, this is not going to take place. Why? Because this permission set is yet to be activated. So we have to basically find out another permission set which that user has assigned to and activate that permission. So we'll go to permission set assignment, and in the lightning enabled itself, this is my permission set. If you don't have a permission set, go ahead, create a permission set, and make sure it is not session activated. Okay, and search for run flows. Under the app permission, you will find run flows. Click on that. It will take you to the app permission section. Okay, then edit this, and here you have to basically enable the checkbox that says run flows and click on save. A pop-up will come for the confirmation, and then again click on save. Now, as this is the permission set which does not require any session activation and is assigned to the user, that user would be able to run the flow. Okay, now let's go ahead and log in this user again. And once we are logged in, you could see here on the home page itself, we are able to see the flow, which is basically displaying the open cases. And if you go to accounts and contacts, we again now are able to see the message that we have put says click next to activate the permission set. And if you click on next, we are saying the permission set is assigned, click finish to complete the process. Let's go ahead and click on finish. Our permission set is assigned now. Now if we go to accounts, and if you go to all accounts, you can see the magic has happened, and the user is able to see all the accounts that are available inside this Salesforce org. You can open any account, but this user does not have access to edit or delete. The reason, because we have only given the view all access using that session based permission set. Okay, so this is what we have. One important thing about this session based permission set is once this user logs out, the permission set will get deactivated. User will have to again activate the permission set. So this is very important thing that we need to keep in mind. We really don't need to implement the deactivation. As soon as the session ends, the permission set is deactivated automatically. So that is what we had as part of our number one, that is activating the session based permission sets. Now let's take the questions, where there is a question from how many flows you are going to cover. So we are going to cover multiple flows. We have a complete project that we are going to cover. The project itself would be somewhere around 4 to 5 hours, or could be more. We are going to cover multiple scenarios as well. Okay, then there is a question from Santanu. Please cover the new summer 24 features and all sort of quick actions in the flow series. Yes, we are going to cover. The reason I'm not going to covering right away, because some of you or maybe most of you does not have access to those features. So if I go ahead and show you, you'll definitely see, but you will not be able to practice it. My aim is to make you learn so that you can also practice it. Okay, then can this be useful in field service when assigning FS permission sets? Okay, so Dharmesh, if you have any permission set that is session based permission set, yes, definitely it is useful. But if you have a permission set that is not a session based permission set, then it will not be helpful there. Then you have to basically go with another route, another use case basically, I would say, and that use case is also covered in this series. So we will see how you could assign the permission set to the user which is not accession based permission set. Okay, then there is a question from Vinu. May I know what is the real time use case of session based permission set? So we have also covered Vinu earlier as well. Okay, what is the use case? There has been multiple use cases. I'll take one which is very common and I have used it for multiple places. That is, let's say I'm going on a leave and my colleagues need access to some of the records that I'm working on. Or I'm going on a leave and my colleagues need some administrative privileges on Salesforce site, like creating the users or assigning the permission sets, creating the profiles, assigning the creating the user sorry assigning the profiles, roles, creating delegated admins, that kind of things for a certain period of time. Okay, so what you could do is you could create a session based permission set, and whenever your colleague is going to log in, you can just go, your colleague will go to the tab, will activate the permission set and will do the necessary work. Now there could be a question that might be coming in your mind is that colleague can activate the permission set anytime. How we are going to control that time frame? Okay, that could be one question in your mind. So there are multiple ways to control this. One, you can remove the assignment of that user from the session based permission set, so it will never work, because to activate the permission set, that user must need to be assigned to the permission set. Second, you can create a custom object. Okay, and that custom object will hold the entry of start and end time that you would be creating, and then in your flow you can check if that entry is still valid, let the user activate the flow, otherwise throw some error message. You can do that way. So this is one of the use case that I have seen. There could be multiple. There are multiple use cases. We have already seen talking about access the data, access integrations, approvals or archivals. There are multiple use cases, and there are different ways. It's not the only way. There are different ways, but this is very good, I will say, because you don't need to manage assignment or removal. It's going to assign at a time. It's your session starts, permission set says okay, you are good. Your session ends. Next time you log in, it says okay, now you don't need to be, you cannot access the things. So that is how it works. Then again, there is a question from Santanu. Can similar things be done on case object? Let's say I need to give access to the unique queue members by using the session based approach for queue members. So user, first of all, you can definitely do this for any object. It could be standard or custom object. Second thing, if you wanted to give it to the queue members, you need to identify who are the queue members. Or maybe you can do that kind of segregation in your flow where you query the queue, find out what are the queue members, then see if the logged in user is one of the queue member, then let the user activate. You can do that as well. Or you can always say okay, if that user is not assigned, maybe you can just have some sort of automation running behind the scene. Whenever if a user is added to the queue, to a specific queue, add that user to the specific permission set that is session based permission set. You can do that automation as well. Okay. And then again, there is a question from Dharmesh. The permission set course access. No, 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 nothing. That is just for my purpose. That is not nothing related to any session. That is just for my practice, where I have created a permission set to showcase in a different demo how the permission set works. That is not related to the Salesforce Flow series. Okay. What is the okay? I've already covered that. So yeah, now let's coming to the session again. The second thing that we talked about is submit approval process using Salesforce flows. Okay. So again, I'm assuming that you all know what approval processes are and how those approval process works. You definitely know the use cases. Okay, as you all are admins. So I'm going to just okay. First, let's log in as Ricky. Okay, we are already logged out, so that's good. So what we are going to do here is let's say that I'm just going to take a random use case, okay? But this is really important. uh, I'll take a real time use case. We all sometimes we all definitely have been at an interview stage, okay? And it could be an interview question where the person asks that, okay, if you are selected on the round 1, you will be sent to round 2. If you are selected on round 2, you will be sent to round 3. Okay, what kind of automation here you are going to use? So the answer is approval process. If the person who is taking the interview at round 1 approves you, then your candidature is going to be forward to round 2. Okay, if the person who is taking the interview does not approves you, your candidature is not going to be sent for round 2. This is just a simple scenario, a real time scenario where if you're clearing your first round, you will be sent for round 2. If you're not clearing your first round, you will be sent back to home. Okay, similarly, when sales reps are working for selling the products or the services, companies comes and ask for the discount. They say, okay, can you give me 10% discount, can you give me 5% discount, we are really tight on budget. That kind of things happens, negotiation happens. Okay, so what happens inside Salesforce? Opportunity is the object where most of the sales reps works to sell the product or the services. Okay, so let's say that, again taking a hypothetical scenario, let's say that you are working as an admin for a company where what you need to do is you need to implement an approval process, so that if the amount is greater than, let's say, 10,000, and there is a field called discount percentage. Okay, based on the percent you need to submit it. So now let me again showcase you first, and then we will talk about scenario. So what we have done here is we have a field called discount percentage, and this is a percent field. The data type of this field is percent. Okay, then we have got a field called approval status, and the data type of this field is pick list with different values here, like submitted for approval, waiting for manager's approval, waiting for senior manager's approval, VP, SVP, CEO, and then at the end approved, rejected, or recalled. Okay, now your requirement is, if the discount percent is less than 2 or 2%, the the sales rep itself is authorized to approve the discount, because that is something that company has given the liability. Similarly, let's say your salary is somewhere around 15 lakhs. The HR has the luxury to approve your salary and give you the offer. But if you're saying that no, 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 I want 20 lakhs, then HR has to go to the manager, its own manager, saying that, hey, this candidate is asking 20 lakhs, can you approve it? Okay, if the person approves, then only you are going to get the offer letter. Similarly, let's say if the discount is 2%, I am as a sales rep is like I'm authorized to approve the discount. I'll say, okay, go ahead, I'm giving you 2% discount. But if the person is saying that no, 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 I need 3% discount, then I'm not authorized. I have to send it to for the approval to my boss. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to say, okay, if the discount percent is greater than 2, okay, we are going to send it for the approval, and the amount. So what we are going to see is we are going to say, okay, if the amount is greater than maybe 10,000 or 1 lakh, discount percent is greater than 2%, then we are going to automatically submit this for approval, so that user don't need to submit it for approval. Currently what happens, if you don't have the automated way, let's say if I go to this opportunity and go to drop down and click on submit for approval, it will ask me the comments, what comments I wanted to provide here. And if I click on submit, this opportunity is going to be submitted for approval, And on the related list below, I will see the approval history, where I can see here the request has been submitted and it has been rejected. Automatically, the approval has been rejected due to some certain conditions I have put in my approval process. So what we are going to do is we are going to see the approval process first, what I have developed. I'm not going to develop here for the sake of time, assuming that you all know what is the approval process, how to create that. If not, I will highly recommend to go ahead and read it from the Trailhead, Salesforce official help document, or Salesforce developer document. So to go to the approval process, we need to search for approval, and under process automation, we need to select approval process. Okay. I already have one approval process which I have created for opportunity. You can clearly see on your screen, which is displaying under active approval processes. If you open it, you will see I have got certain sort of like the name of my process, the unique name, which is the developer name. What is the entry criteria, which says amount should be greater than 10,000. Who can edit the record? Only admin after the record is submitted. Okay. And then these are some of the steps that I have, three steps. Okay. So I have got some conditions here which says opportunities count is greater than 0.02, because it is a percentage field. Okay. So percentage field is always like if you put 3, then it would always be 3 divided by 100. That means 0.03. If it is 2, that means 2 divided by 100, that is going to be 0.02, right? So that is what we have given here, which says discount is greater than 2% and less than 4%. This is what we are doing here. We are checking the condition here. If this is not the case, we are sending go to the next step and check the condition. Next step is 2, which says okay, opportunity is greater than 4 and less than 6. It says if this condition matches, do nothing. Sorry, do go to this approval process. Otherwise, go to next step, and that checks if the opportunity discount is greater than 6%. That is just the high level approval process that we have. Okay. This approval process is activated, so you can see the checkbox active is checked. Now our requirement is if the amount of opportunity, not say not amount, if the discount of opportunity is changed. Okay. If the discount of opportunity is changed and it is greater than, basically it's not null. If the discount is not null, we are going to submit it for approval. Okay. That's what we are going to do. So this is going to be a record triggered flow, because we are going to work on the change of a record. Then is it going to be before or after? So it is definitely going to be after, because we are not working on the same record. We are working on certain actions, that is submit the opportunity for an approval. Okay. So let's go ahead, create a record triggered flow for opportunity object. So we have to select record triggered flow now, and for the object we are going to select opportunity when a record is updated. Okay. And actions and related records, click on done, and let's save it. I'm going to say RT submit opportunity for approval. Before we go ahead, can I see a yes or no if you are able to get it? You are enjoying the series. Any questions? If you have, please put into the chat box. Okay, I don't see any yes or no. Okay. I'm assuming. Okay, I see yes. Okay, yeah. So just give it yes or no if you're enjoying. If you are able to understand it, you're getting it. Do I need to slow, or do I need to be a little bit on a fast pace? Just put it, because I just wanted to make sure you all are getting it. If you are devoting your time, you're learning something. Okay. So we have got it here. What we have to do is now we have to check if the discount is changed and the value is not null. Okay. So let's go ahead and click on plus and use a decision element. That I don't see here. Yeah, that there is there. Decision. So we will use a label as check if discount is changed. Okay. Now we have already used how to see if the field, a particular field has been changed or not. So for resource, we will say record dot discount. My field is discount percentage, and I'm going to say is changed. Okay, is changed true. And we also need to make sure that the value is not null. So we have to add one more condition. We'll say record dot discount percentage does not equal to null. Okay, we don't have that null here. Then we are going to say is null and false. That means it's not null. We will debug it. If there is something, we will be able to changing it. We will change it. The default outcome, we will say discount is not changed. Click on done and save it. Now if discount is not changed, we really don't need to do anything. If discount is changed, then only we need to submit it for approval process. So let's go ahead and click on plus icon, and again we will search for action. Okay, and this time what we will search for is submit for approval. This is our action. Okay, submit for approval. Now it has multiple options here, and out of those options, one is enabled, that is required. We have to provide which record you wanted to submit it for approval. So we already have this record dot id. Now approval process name or id, because we have to tell, right, which approval process we wanted to invoke. So just click on, just toggle this, and here we have to give the API name of our approval. Okay, so let's go ahead and provide the API name of our approval process. Then if you scroll down, you will see next approver IDs. Who will be the next approver if the previous approver approves? For example, uh, there is a approval required from manager and senior manager as well. So if the manager approves, who will be the next approver? Those IDs you can give here. We don't need to give it. Skip entry criteria. Do you want to skip the entry criteria of your given approval process? Now what is this? This is the entry criteria of your approval process. This is our approval process, which says opportunity. Okay, the discount one. Entry criteria says amount should be greater than 10,000. And if we enable that checkbox, this check criteria is going to be skipped. So we don't want to skip this entry criteria. So we will not enable this checkbox. Now submission comments. So if you remember, when I tried to submit the opportunity for approval manually, we got a text box which says what are the comments, why you wanted to submit it. So you can put it here. Let's say I wanted to say discount is changed. Okay, that's it. Submitter ID, who is submitting this process? So submitter ID will always be the ID of the record owner. So let's say we say record dot owner ID. Sorry. So this is what we have. Click on done. And as this is an action, we are going to add a fault path. and save your flow. So far we are good. We really have a very basic flow. Okay. Now, as we talked about having a fault path, if there is any error, so let's quickly utilize our sub flow this time. That is going to be auto log error. Okay. We are going to log the error on the error object. Now it takes various information. What is the component name? What is the component type? What is the error message? What is the flow step name, title, and various inputs we have, right? So let's send error message that's going to be flow.fault message. Flow step name, we can say submit for approval. What is the title? We will say error while submitting the approval process. Who is giving the error? Who is responsible for this error? So here we will use user.id, and then component type is going to be flow. Component name is going to be RT submit opportunity for approval. So basically this is nothing. This is the name of our approval process. Okay, we have already talked about this. That's why I'm just doing it in a better fast pace. Click on done and save it. Your flow is ready. This is very simple. All we need to do is just debug it. So let's click on debug. We have to select an opportunity, and this time I'm going to select a different opportunity which we have not touched. Okay, amount is greater than 10,000, but I have just changed it. And then discount, I'm going to put it as 3%. Okay, and let's click on run, and our flow is working fine. This dark blue arrow says okay, your flow is really working fine. That means there is nothing as such to worry about. Okay, now as we found that okay, our flow is really working fine, our flow is really working good, we can go ahead and activate it. Our flow is now activated. Now if we get back and figure out some opportunity which could be maybe emergency as generator, this is the opportunity. If I scroll to the bottom, you will see there is no approval history available for this opportunity. Amount is 75,000. That means our entry criteria is also going to work perfectly fine. If I go ahead and add a discount percent, which is 4%, okay, and click on save, okay, it says discount cannot be changed once the stage set to closed one. There is a validation rule that I have applied. I'm going to change the stage to negotiation review as well, and this time I will save it. So once we have saved, our trigger flow, our record trigger flow has ran, and we will see that the opportunity has been submitted for approval. There is some issue in my criteria. Okay, so don't uh, just check about that. You can see here, it says, okay, the opportunity has been submitted for approval. The first step is submitted. Second step says it is pending. And if you notice, the comments on step number one, which says discount is changed. That means this is the comment that we have provided from our flow itself. Okay, so that is how you can just go ahead and submit for approval. Okay, now if we again go to, let me duplicate this tab. Okay, and let's go to this system events object, and we have only two records created so far for the system event object, 1 and 2. This opportunity, which is as emergency generator, which is already submitted for approval, and the status is pending. That means it is neither approved neither rejected. Okay, now let's try to change the percentage from 4 to 5 and save it. So there is no error. there is no change in the approval history. Even if we refresh this, we will see only two approval history. And if you go to system events and click on reference, you would see there is one more system event that got created. And if you open it, you will see it says the record is currently in approval process. A record can be in only one approval process at a time. Okay. So what I wanted to showcase here is that if your record is submitted for approval, okay, and you again try to change the percentage of your discount, it is going to throw the error and it is not going to submit for approval. In that case, the approver, the opportunity owner, has to first recall the approval process and then submit it again. So how they can recall it? They just go to the approval history and click on recall. If they recall it and then again try to change the percentage, then this opportunity will get submitted for approval again. So if we go ahead and change it from 5 to 6, our opportunity is submitted for approval again. You can clearly see here. Okay. So that is basically how you can go ahead, you can activate your approval process based on certain conditions on your record, and you can automate it so that user don't miss any sort of approval that needs to be sent to the user. Okay, before we go to the third action, that is sending the email from Salesforce, let's take the question. There is a question from Sanket, that if we can do this by approval process, then what is the need of flow? I really didn't understand what your question is. So if you could put again the clear what we can do this flow, like approval process. What is the need of flow? I really don't understand. Okay. There is a question from Vakar. Can we assign sharing rules as well using this? So first of all, we need to be clear. Like there is no such concept of assigning the sharing rules. Sharing rules are created to share the records. So if you wanted to share a record to the user using Flow, you can always share a record. But there is nothing as such assigning the sharing rules. There is nothing as such concept of assigning the sharing rules. Okay. Then again, the same question is if you can do this by a parole process. I really don't understand the question. Okay, I've got another question from Santanu. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Santanu. I really appreciate. Okay. Yeah. So the next thing is that sending an email from Salesforce Flow. That is also very important. We wanted to send the email from Flow. It could be either sending the email from Screen Flow, sending the email from Record Triggered Flow, from Auto Launch Flow. It could be from any kind of flow that you wanted to send the email. So I will again take you very common scenario that happens. So we have cases in Salesforce, right? And based on the different statuses of case, we wanted to send the information. We wanted to basically send the email or the communication to the customer. For example, this is our case. Okay. Now this is very simple. What we are going to do is whenever a case is created, we are going to send an email to the contact. Okay. If a case is created, contact is not null, we are going to send an email to the contact, and we are also going to store that email under the case record, where we will say that this email has been sent to the contact, in order to keep the track of all the emails that we are sending to the particular contact, to the particular customer who is raising the issues or raising the case to us. Okay. That is a simple use case that we are going to do here. So again, we are going to create a record triggered flow. because we wanted to send the email, it would be after trigger. Okay, so go to, again, follow the same step, select record triggered flows, and this time the object is going to be case. A record is created. Okay, and the condition, we are going to say, okay, don't put any condition, click on done and save it. And give the name of your flow, whatever the name that you want, and save it. The very first thing, what was the first condition? The first condition was contact should not be blank. Okay, so let's click on plus and use decision element. Okay, and we say contact should not be blank. So we will say contact is associated. The label could be anything. You can change it as per your need, as per your main conventions. Okay, that's fine. So what we will do, we will say contact, so record dot contact ID. We are going to add two conditions here. If you remember earlier as well, we talked about we are going to check for both not null and is null. So if it does not equals to null, and we will say is null false. So you are going to check for both the blank string and the null value. Click on done. So we will say contact is associated. If the contact is associated, we are going to send the email. Okay, to whom we need to send the email? We need to send the email to the associated contact. So let's click on plus and again click on action. But if you see, there is something called send email alert here as well. But we will, as usual, select action and we will search for send email. We are not going to use send email alert. We are going to use send email. Sending email is a different thing. Sending email alert is a different thing. We will talk about both. But today we are going to talk about sending email. So let's click on send email. Okay. Now if you see here, we have got multiple variables. Now whenever you are sending an email, what all you need is, you need the content of your email, what you wanted to send. Okay, so this is going to be body. So let's say that we have received your case. Okay, that's it, nothing. We are not sending fancy. If you want, you can send it fancy, you can send it html, anything. Okay, it says email template id. Do you have an email template which you wanted to utilize it for sending the email? As of now, we don't have. Okay, there is a toggle here which says log email on send. So if you wanted to log the email and store the email here under the activity section of your case or account or contact or any standard object or custom object, you can just say log email on send and say true. By default it is false. You need to say true. So if you say true, it will send the email and it will also log a record as an email message under that record. Okay, now if we are sending an email, right, we definitely need whom we wanted to send the email. There could be one recipient, minimum one recipient, maximum there could be multiple, right? So to add here in Salesforce Flow, there are two options to add the sending the email, like recipient address collection or recipient address list. So the collection is like you have a collection variable, you have added multiple emails and you're sending it. Recipient address list is you are sending, you are using comma separated. Okay, so I'm going to use here comma separated. I'm going to say content learning 222 at gmail.com, and we are also going to use the email of our contact record. So we are going to say, okay, record dot contact dot email. This is the one, and then the other one is static email. So we are sending it to the contact. In your real use case, you will not send it to the static or dummy email. You will be using the correct email which is required to send. Now there is something called recipient ID. Recipient ID is the ID of your lead or contact or user, and this becomes required if you provide an email template ID. So if you provide an email template ID, this recipient ID becomes required. Okay. Then similarly, related record ID. Related record ID is the ID of a record for which you are trying to send the email. And this also becomes required if you have given the template ID. Okay. Then there is another toggle which says rich text formatted body. Are you sending a rich text body like HTML body with some formatted like bold colors, bold letters, black, red colors, some images, that kind of email you are sending? If you're sending that kind of email, toggle this checkbox and add true as a value. Okay. Then subject is definitely required for your case. So we will say a new case is created, or we will say your case is accepted. Now there are two more things: sender email address and sender type. Okay. Sender email address is the email from which you are sending the email. Okay. And it is required, like here you could just use the user email address, you could use the organization wide default email address, and sender type is again either it is organization wide default or it is current user. So if you toggle it, you will see the appropriate values. What are the appropriate values? Okay. The values are current user, default workflow user, org wide default user, and the default value is current user. Similarly, if you toggle the sender email address, you will see that this is required when your sender type is set to org wide email address. So these are the various not checkboxes, various inputs that you have while you are trying to send the email to the user, to any specific user. Click on save. Okay. And feel free to add the fault path and call your subflow that is auto launch flow. Okay. And pass the values. For now, I'm not passing any values because I really have it is going to take a time, and we know what we all need to pass. So now let's go ahead and try to debug it. Okay. We are going to use any case and click on run. And you clearly see that it really worked. The blue line clearly says that we are able to send the email and then flow is ending. That means our flow is working perfectly fine. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate this flow. Now all we need to do is to test this flow, we need to create a new case or we need to clone the existing case. So I'm going to clone this existing case. Okay. And before I clone it, or that's fine because we really don't bother about the email of the contact. So let's clone this case and I'm going to add cloned in the subject. Okay. And let's save it. So we can see here the case has been created and it seems that the email was not sent to the user. Okay. But I can see that like I've got new opportunity. Okay. That email is not coming actually. I haven't received any email. Okay. So there could be possibility that email is not coming, but for under activity, let me see if I click on view all. Okay. Not doesn't work. All time. Okay. That means there was some problem and email was not sent. That's fine. We will debug it more. So if you see here, we are also seeing some sort of warning here. It says that send email addresses are invalid. This is an invalid email, which says it's not a valid email. So let's try to uh, change this. Okay. The reason I'm changing it because there could be possibility that this is not a valid email. We might need to store it in some variable and then send it. Okay. So that's why we are just making sure it is correct. So we've got this a correct way. We've got the body. We say okay, log on send. We've got global constant. Okay, I think this, there is one thing, this is also required. This particular field is also required because how this particular Salesforce will know that under which record I need to log the email. Okay, so we have to say okay, record.id. This is one thing that I really forget. So this is really needed. We really have to put this as well, where we say record ID. Under this record ID, our logs, the email message is going to get generated. So let's click on, again, this time we should not see any warning message. Let's go ahead and activate this. So we have activated. Again, I'm trying to clone this. So cloned one, let's remove this and save this. So this time it worked, right? You see here under activity, we have got an email which says your case is accepted, and this is what we have sent to the user, to whom we have sent, from where we have sent. So this is what we are talking about, logging an email which is being sent to the user, and the email has been received by me, and unfortunately I'm not able to share it because I'm not logged in using this email in my laptop. So that's why. But if you see here, we are able to see that email has been sent and it has been clearly logged as an email message under that case record. Okay, so that is how you can send the email message. Okay, that is how you can send an email using Salesforce flows. Now let's talk about few more actions that you have. Or maybe what you could do is you could just go to your flow, existing flow, or you can create a new flow. Click on plus and go to actions, and if you scroll down, you will find multiple options like case. Under the category you will find case, and if you hit on the action, you will say like log a call, create a child case, create a new case. Similarly, under task you will find log a call or new task, change date, edit comments. So there are multiple standard objects available, and for those standard objects the multiple actions are available that you can utilize as part of your need. Okay, so that's all we had as part of today's session. If you have any questions, please feel free to put into the chat window. And again, please do like, share, subscribe, share it with your friends, with your colleagues. That really helps us and motivates us for creating the videos. Wanted to know, okay, there is a question from Dharmesh, wanted to know whether your integration course you update at regular time or not. It does get updated. Yes, it does get updated. Okay. So yeah, if you have a questions, please feel free to put into the chat window. Okay. Or you can also put into the comment section. Any scenarios, put into the comment section, and we will meet tomorrow at same time 8 p.m. IST. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a good one and good night.